Hello from the airport, currently in San Diego. It is time to head to New York for a week and a half of theater. Did not have a show today, and I just got a rush ticket for Caroline because my flight is not delayed. I was a little bit worried about that, but it looks like I will be landing at 4, so I should have enough time to go drop my stuff off and head to MCC to see the new Preston Max Allen play. Very excited about that. Let's go to the East Coast, shall we? And we officially made it to New York. Now I have about 2 hours to go drop my stuff off and head into Midtown. So I think I'm just gonna take the train, which is a little more expensive than taking the subway, but it saves me about 20 minutes, so we're doing it. Look, we're cutting it a little close, but we made it to Midtown 45 minutes before curtain, and I pre-ordered Empanada Mama on the subway. So going to pick that up now. They just notified me it was ready like a couple minutes ago. And then heading straight to the theater. We did it! Barely, but we did it! Food required! We are heading to the theater, which is only a block away. And then I can eat just right outside MCC. We made it to MCC. One of the greatest things I've ever purchased is a nail clipper bottle opener combo for my keys, so that when I get bottles that I need to open, I can do that. And we made it inside. Here's a glimpse at our set. The rush tickets are the last row, which is like a perfect view. And pre-show playlist is pre-show playlisting. Love it already. Some of the locations they go to in the show itself, as well as the trans laws in those states. Well, that absolutely destroyed me. What an emotional gut punch to start off this trip. So Caroline is this new play about a young mom who has to take her daughter out of a really unsafe situation at home. She, in trying to find a safe place for her daughter to live, takes her to her mother's house, and she has not seen her parents in over a decade because of a situation when she was younger. And so it is about these 3 generations kind of trying to reconcile their pasts and their futures. And it was a little bit of a slow burn. It took me a second to get into it, but oh my gosh, the punch by the end, having these almost awkward and tense moments at the beginning really paid off by the end of it, and I was a wreck by the final scene. What a beautiful, beautiful piece of theater. This is a world premiere play as well, and it just started performances at MCC. It's playing until November 2nd, and it is definitely still in preview. So like you could tell they're working on it. The creative team, including the writer and director, were in the audience tonight, so I'm excited to see like when it gets a little more polished, but it's gonna be an incredibly powerful piece of theater, and oh my gosh, I'm gonna get run over. But I also think, especially with the world right now and how people view trans people in general, but especially kids who know at a very young age that they're trans, the more that trans people are depicted in the media, the more people who don't interact with them are going to be able to empathize with people unlike them. And so I think this play is one of many, many, many pieces of media that is going to help make the world a little better and a little more understanding. Very, very excited to start my New York trip off with Caroline. I've really wanted to see this because I have loved Preston Max Allen's work, both with We Are the Tigers, which was fun, and Never Better, which was a devastating musical on chronic illness. So I love getting to see his foray into a play, and Caroline, emotionally devastating, and I'm so glad I was able to see it. Y'all, big news, because I just got to New York, of course, today, and they're still up. The Broadway Flea banners with my face on them are still up. There's 2 right outside of the Richard Rodgers, where I'm going to be seeing Hamilton tomorrow. So we'll see if it's still up tomorrow when I go, but that's very exciting. It's very exciting. I'm so glad I got to see some in the wild. Like, this may be the most insane view of 45th I ever see. That's so cool. And we'll just ignore the booth. What if I stay until they start taking one down and see if I can get it? That's so cool. I have not seen a trash can, which is probably for the best, because I would be tempted to try to take it, and that would just be awkward to carry back to Brooklyn. Okay, well now I'm just devastated that there's no walk anymore, because how cool would it have been to have been in the walk? Look, there I am. Good morning or afternoon. Currently headed to pick up my tickets for Art, which is going to be my first show in an incredible 2-show day. So starting off with finally seeing Art, a play that I have known about since it premiered in, what, 98? But I definitely remember watching those Tony Awards when it won. And then tonight I am finally seeing for the first time on Broadway Hamilton. I know, I'm behind. I've seen it on stage 4 times, but never on Broadway, and I'm very excited because there's a scenic design moment that is only in the Broadway version that I've heard David Corns talk about, so I'm excited to finally see it in person. Also, here at the Music Box, and unfortunately during the night they did finally swap out the last few banners. So I'm glad I made it over here in order to see them last night for their last night up. All right, ticket acquired. So I'm gonna grab something to eat real fast. I have about an hour. I may just end up at Taco Bell. Okay, well the light fixture banners went down, but guess what I found? Oh my gosh, there's still a trash can. I'm getting a poster today, otherwise I would be very tempted. Gosh, it's another one. Wait, I gotta take a photo. Made it into the theater. This is in fact the last row of the Music Box. Look, there's the wall right there. And honestly, the view is still incredible. This is why the Music Box remains one of my favorite theaters on Broadway, because there's really no bad seats. Here's a look at the merch. Really, really cute stuff, honestly. For a play, it could have been really boring, but they really outdid themselves here. Obviously, I had to get the pin, and honestly, it may be one of my favorite enamel pins. I love this one. Okay, I really, really loved Art, and I knew it was gonna be a good play because it won Best Play, but yeah, it was not what I was expecting, and I really, really enjoyed that. So freaking funny. Cast incredible. Everybody's been raving about James Corden's monologue in the second half of the play. It is a 1-act play, but in the second half, and honestly, it's worthy of all the praise. Absolutely fantastic. It's great to see him on stage. He's been getting a lot of hate for all the work he's been doing in movie musicals, but this reminded me how great he is on stage. And I'm gonna go pick up a poster, and I think this is where I'm going. Important update, posters have been acquired. They gave me both a window card and the larger poster board size that I think is the same size that's on a trash can, maybe. And a t-shirt. I'm not on the t-shirt, but the t-shirt's really cute. So I think, especially because they gave me the larger size as well, I think I'm gonna end up just going back to Brooklyn and dropping these off and then coming back in for Hamilton. I think that's gonna end up being the move. And I do have 3 hours, so I end up having a ton of time. And if I eat after the show, I'll be okay with that. And we are back in Midtown. Still have 2 hours before the show starts, so we have plenty of time to go drop the posters off. Thank goodness. Now I don't have to carry my face into the theater. I have not been in this theater in such a long time. Here's a glimpse at the merch. I don't think I'm gonna get anything unless they have a 10th anniversary pin, but always love the Hamilton merch because I do already have definitely the Schuyler sisters. Note that the merch stand downstairs is crazy, but they do have another one upstairs by the mezzanine. There is a pin, so obviously we're grabbing. And there is the Hamilton program and a view from the seat. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So not quite the last row. There are in fact 2 rows behind me. 2 rows behind me. Also, here's a look at the cast today. Now, today we do have Mark Dela Cruz on as King George, which I'm super excited about because I love Mark. I'm also really excited because Giselle has joined the Broadway cast. I saw her in Waitress And then she was recently in the national tour cast of Hamilton and just joined the Broadway cast. And of course, Leslie Odom Jr., obviously. It's intermission, and shocking to everyone, Hamilton's great. And right now they're setting up the stage for Act 2. Now, I'm trying to figure out if the wall does anything, because I know the brick wall in the back that you can kind of see is the biggest change from Broadway to the tour production, and I'm trying to figure out if it moves because there's definitely multiple layers to that brick wall in the back. Oh my gosh, the wall came down! It did come down! Yes! So they let us exit through the orchestra. So here's the view from down here. And the rake in here is crazy. Why is it so steep? Well, I made it just out of the theater and then it started raining and now it is pouring. So we're just chilling here. Just chilling here under the covers of the Marquee Breezeway. Unfortunately, I did not bring my umbrella to this. Literally just pouring rain. But at least we have Dancing Queen playing. All right, it stopped raining or at least got light enough that I raced over to 44th and I'm gonna get to the subway entrance near the St. James Theater and then just walk underground because it's supposed to start raining here in just a little bit. So whenever the weather's bad, best New York pro tip. Made it, now we're dry, and we can just take the underpass. It's also nice and warm in here. It is Thursday, we are back in Midtown. Had a really great talk with my friends Catherine and Ashley today on online about all of the upcoming shows this fall season that you will probably be able to watch at this point when you're seeing this on Catherine's channel. And do I have tickets for a show tonight? No, I don't. And it is currently after 6, and because it's the middle of the week, most shows start at 7. So will we see a show tonight? Honestly, I don't know. And to throw a wrench into all of this, a bunch of tickets went on sale today for the upcoming season on TDF. So I spent about $200 on tickets for future dates, for future trips. And now I have $200 to my name for the rest of this trip, which is lasting about a week. So my budget for a show tonight just drastically decreased. So right now the plan is to head over to the Friedman to see what the cheapest ticket they have for Punch is. Now, there's no tickets available at TKTS right now, which is not a great sign. But it hasn't been selling out, so I'm curious what they offer us. My friend Brian told me last night that they do have rush tickets that start 2 hours before that are only in person. I don't know how accurate that is. And if they would have any of those left right now because it's less than 1 hour before. But I figure it does not hurt to check. So if I can get a ticket for under $50, we're gonna pounce on it. But even that right now with our budget is a little high. And of course, I'm also refreshing the theater app to see if anything pops up there that I want to see tonight. And we made it. Let's see what they have. So they did end up selling me a ticket at the box office for the rush price on Today Tix. So it was $49, and I'm like front center orchestra. Can't beat that. And here is the view from the seat. So kind of a really beautiful set. You can see the cityscape in the background of this like stair circular thing. Very intrigued. Also, there is a talk back after this performance as well. So bonus, did not know this was happening today. Talking about the healing power of the arts, which yes, absolutely love that. So we'll probably be staying for it.
education program that was founded at a major theater company in New York City. Our mission has been to empower learners of all ages to engage joyfully and authentically with live theater as authors, audience, and administrators. Beyond the Stage Talkback is the healing power of the arts, and I've seen firsthand how our programs and how our teaching artists bring the magic of theater into high school classrooms and community spaces all over New York City.
Well, Punch was really, really, really fantastic. I'm really glad I ended up seeing that today. Just, wow, what a powerful piece of theater about the power of restorative justice, which I think is so important to getting people on the right track post, a crime. There were so many beautiful layers to the play. And then, of course, we had the talk back afterwards with different people who work at different organizations that use art as a healing method in different scenarios. And they all had really great things to say. And each of them had a history with art helping them in their lives. And you really get to see them essentially pass it forward. I mean, obviously, theater is life is my name, and I truly believe that theater is incredibly healing and incredibly powerful, and same with all art, right? And so, it always is really sad when people don't value art and how arts funding consistently gets decreased because people don't think it's as important as, science and math and sports. But there's so much power in art that I just wish more people would see. And I think that people who see this play are going to really believe in the power of, healing and restorative justice and, taking the time to show people some grace. Anyway, fantastic play. I'm so glad I saw that tonight. And in exciting news, while I was seeing Punch, my friend Catherine reached out about possibly getting Masquerade tickets for tomorrow. So I think I'm seeing Masquerade tomorrow night. So it's a good thing I bought new shoes for the wedding that I went to this weekend. Happy Friday! I still have about a half hour to kill, but we are headed over to the building that houses Masquerade. I can already see people outside of the building dressed up. I wore the dressiest thing I brought in my backpack, which is just this top and my black slacks. Thankfully, I did buy a pair of black dress shoes for the wedding I went to over the weekend, so I'm not wearing my tennis shoes, which, small favors. But when you travel light, you don't have a lot of options. But here we are at the art shop. You can see everyone lined up right now, and I just have to find my show buddy, who is not here yet, I don't think. Mask has been acquired from the mask maker through these double doors and about to head into the Masquerade. Okay, so I just finished. We're down in the bar at the bottom of the experience. So once you do the entire show, it spits you out here. This is where you can film, take all your photos, you get a program at the end. Oh my gosh. There is in fact also a merch stand down here. This shirt is amazing. Unfortunately, I don't think I can afford it. Here is the menu. No pins, so great for my wallet, but some gorgeous stuff. This is also actually part of the show. I won't spoil where, but it's fascinating that they turn this into a bar for the end of the show. I'm gonna need like 5 to 10 business days in order to process that. That was insane, like absolutely insane. I think the level of detail that they've put into it is incredible. The edit of the show itself, I thought was really, really well done. It runs 2 hours. You're walking through the entire thing. There's definitely some scenes that aren't entirely necessary, but you can tell that they're like operationally necessary to pull off what they're doing, to give the actors the breaks that they need in between scenes. And so they've kind of filled out some of Eric's backstory, which I thought worked incredibly well. And it's so freaking cool. Hello from the road. We are currently headed to Baltimore to go see Kaye. Just stopped to grab some coffee at Dunkin' at a Claire Barton travel station, which is like super nice. 10 out of 10 would stop here again. Like, look at this. It's like a little tiny mall at this gas station. And we made it to Baltimore. We're currently at the Lexington Market to grab something to eat before heading to the show. We also have a downstairs level as well. I ended up grabbing the DC Glizzy from the Sausage Master, which is that stand right over there. Currently just waiting for the rest of the crew to grab their lunch. And we made it to the M&T Bank Exchange Theater for Kaye. Very excited. I do love that they have the pronunciation on all of the posters because I did not know how to pronounce it. This is a really cute little theater space, and also there are two theaters in here. So you have the Exchange Theater, which is where Kaye is, and then the Hippodrome Theater, which is where the tour for Water for Elephants is literally starting tonight. Here's actually a look at their entire Broadway season. So we of course have the national tour launch happening tonight for Water for Elephants. Also the Phantom tour launch is happening here, and Gatsby. So they get quite a lot of the launches. And then we have a lot of great other options from the season, like Suffs, Kimberly Akimbo, of course, always great. And then, you know I love her, Hadestown. There unfortunately is very cute merch here. All right, we have the cast list, and here we are in the Kaye. We have some performers playing instruments right now. Super cute space. We are in tall seats in the back of the theater. We have a wee coo right there. And a bar over here to the side. And there is, in fact, seating upstairs as well. I'm very curious how the immersive element plays to the second level. As of right now, we do not have programs, so I'm curious if they hand out programs after the show. I will also be grabbing merch after the show.
Step up, step up, step up, step. And 1, 2, 3, hop, back 2, 3, hop, out to the side and clap, and then back to the walk. So 1 and 2, back 2, step touch. Yeah, let's get some air.
We are currently at intermission, and they are in fact serving haggis. We love the Oklahoma Revival. We have a vegetarian option as well as, I believe, a meat option. Okay, they did have enough to go back, so I'm trying both the vegetarian, which does not have the toothpick, and the meat haggis that does have the toothpick, with the sauce this time, which I think is just a mustard. I'm actually not sure. It is in fact like a honey mustard, I believe, and the vegetarian haggis is mostly potato, but it's very, very good. Also, I can already tell that this show is going to make me cry by the end of it, for sure. Really, really loving it so far. About every other song they get, anybody who wants to can go up and dance, and I think we could film.
And that's it, that is the whole dance. This will be the last dance. Spin your partner around once, and then you waltz and waltz. Very good. We go forward, 2, 3, up, down, and back. For 2, step in, and out, and out. Spin them round once, very good, and then we waltz, very good. That's it.
And that's the end! We did it! Alright, we just finished. It's a really, even just after the show, you can hang out, talk with the cast. I'm probably gonna go grab merch, but what an absolute delight of a show. So we did get the program and a shortbread round after the show, and of course I had to grab the pin set. We also have a look at the song list, and you can see every time that we dance, that is marked in the song list. And here's our cast list. Now this is a miniaturized program, so the full bios are in the QR code on the front. That was so much fun. The best way that I can describe it is that it feels like a Fringe show, but for 2 hours and with a more cohesive and longer story. But very centered around community and companionship, and throughout the story they weave in the dances. They'll teach you a dance, and then the dance will become part of the story. 100 out of 10. Absolutely loved it. Quick pit stop to grab sandwiches at Wawa's, which here's a staple I've never been. Wawa has been acquired, and now we're headed home. Check the start time of the show that you're going to see the night before. Check the start time of the show you're going to see the night before. I am currently running to the shed to go see the closing performance of The Brothers' Size, which starts at 1, and I thought it started at 3, and didn't check until afternoon. So that's how things are going right now. When I checked the times, they said that the earliest I could get there was 1:08. But it is currently 12:47 and we are at Penn Station. So I'm hoping that we make it a little earlier than that. That did include a 16-minute walk to the first subway station, and I think I definitely did that in less than 16. So hopefully we make it for the start time. Honestly, I haven't even checked my ETA. I'm just running. And we got to the Pigeon. The theater is just right behind this, and it is currently 12:58. I think as long as they held the curtain 5 minutes, we are golden. Golden! We made it, picked up my ticket at 1:02. It is almost time, we're running. They are still letting in, thank goodness. And we made it! Another Masquerade play in the round. Hopefully I get to finish this one this time. That was both so good and so emotionally draining. Like, I kind of feel like I ran a mile, which, you know, I did sort of, but I think the combination of running to get there and then just the emotional impact of the play itself, I'm exhausted. Also, I look exhausted. Oh my gosh. But I'm so glad I made it. I'm so glad I got to see it in its closing performance, and I got to see it all the way through. But mostly this just made me extra sad that a fire alarm kept me from seeing the second half of We Are Gathered, because I love McCraney's writing so much. And that play felt even more for me than this one. Like, I was really, really loving that. And this play took me a while to get into, but the payoff was just so freaking good. And so it makes me sad. It makes me sad that I could not see that one. So hopefully another theater does it soon. And honestly, the space in the shed is very similar. You could stage it right there. I do wonder, because there were things that came from below the stage onto the set during We Are Gathered, and you can do that at Arena Stage because of how the theater's built. I don't think you can do that at the shed, but they could do something similar, I think. Anyway, it'd be a great space for it, with a similar setup to how they set The Brothers' Size up in the round. And I just want to see the second act of that play. Yeah, really, really glad I saw The Brothers' Size today. Beautiful, beautiful play about these two brothers. One who has just gotten out of jail, and the other older brother who, you know, is letting his brother stay with him, giving him a job, and their relationship. And as an older sibling, it did absolutely make me cry by the end. That's why I'm so emotionally drained right now. So I think I'm gonna find a coffee shop and grab something before I head back for the second half of the Brothers 2 show day. That is The Brothers' Size, followed by the Big Brother finale, of course. Happy Monday! I had an incredible Big Brother finale. If any of you watched Big Brother, it was insane. Loved every minute of it. And today I am mostly going to be doing work and then heading to the dress rehearsal of one of the 2 Tartuffe productions happening off Broadway this season. One is at New York Theater Workshop, which starts a little later in the season, but tonight is happening somewhere in the Upper East Side with Andre DeShields and Amber Iman, and tonight is their invited dress, and I got an invite, so heading to that after I get some work done. Plot twist, the show I was supposed to see tonight, the invited dress rehearsal of Tartuffe, starring Andre DeShields, unfortunately got postponed. So that is now not happening when I'm in town. So instead, I got a last minute ticket to the Renee Rapp tour, which I'm very excited about because I love Renee Rapp. I did not think I was gonna get to see her on this tour because I am so poor, but we got a ticket last minute. So huge thank you to the Seated app, because it's this app where like you can basically earn money by going to sit down restaurants, and it works in certain cities, but especially New York. And I have accumulated enough money to basically cover a Renee Rapp ticket, because one of the rewards that you can get is a gift certificate to StubHub. So that worked out entirely in my favor. So yeah, last minute pivot to go see Renee Rapp.
What I think is crazy is we saw, what, 3 years ago, Renee in like a basement in Williamsburg.
Yeah, she had no opener. She only performed for 30 minutes.
She came and sang her entire EP and left.
She didn't even have an album yet. And now she's at MSG. Crazy. Which is crazy. And I've never been to MSG, so this is really exciting. There she is, and we are going in. This is so exciting. Inside MSG, there's the stage. The view from up here is incredible.
There's no light way to say this, but we need the single. Right? Like, where's the career without the single?
So we've actually had so many people reach out to us about the interviews that you've been doing, the juiciness, and don't get me wrong,
You're busy, but like, I just like, I don't know, I just feel like we're not like connecting.
I don't know, we like when you get unhinged, it's kind of like fun.
The offers are
But I
coming in
will
left
say,
and right.
probably very afraid. She's worried. Shut the fuck up! Shut up! Unbelievably proud of myself. And I knew exactly what the fuck I was doing. And I had that reassurance. So now here I am, and I still love playing it to this day. And I would go through everything that I went through 10 times over to get this song and to get where I am today. Put your lights up. And if you wouldn't mind, there you go, that's nice. If you wouldn't mind singing in the kitchen. One.
Renee officially has bootleg shirts. I'm so proud of her. Hello, hello, good afternoon. Happy Tuesday. First of all, Renee Rapp last night, absolutely incredible. It has been so much fun to get to see her grow up from the Jimmy Award winner to start on her music career to selling out MSG. Like, I feel like a proud parent of a child I have never met. And now, today, I am seeing a play reading of a new play by Night Drive. Night Drive did a production of The Grown-Ups, like right after COVID started reopening theaters. And it was this really cool piece of theater that was happening in a random backyard in Brooklyn, set in this summer campground. And some mysterious things were happening in this summer camp, as well as some interpersonal drama. Absolutely loved that play. And so I'm really excited to see what they've been working on. And that is what I'm heading to right now. It's not going to be a full production, it's just a play reading. But the play is entitled Make Me, and I have literally no idea what it's about. I just know Night Drive, and I love them as a theater company. So it's always really exciting to see a piece of theater start to get created from the ground up. And I cannot wait to see what happens with this. Also, the Walk On Through live album came out at midnight today in honor of the 1-year anniversary of Gavin Creel's passing. So I've been listening to that. Currently it's playing in my ear. Should not have started it on the subway because immediately I was like emotional, but it's a very, very good album, and I'm so glad that this is recorded. And it kind of makes me want to go to the Met again, and I have that membership, so maybe I end up going to the Met tomorrow. I do have a 1 p.m. show tomorrow, seeing Secret Lives. No, what's the title of it? Something about the Bennett Girls. I want to say Secret Lives of the Bennett Girls, but I don't think that's the title of the play. But it's the Bennett Girls play at Bedlam. Seeing that tomorrow at 1. And then I don't have anything until I'm seeing a screening of the new Satisfied documentary with Renee Goldsberry and her time at Hamilton. And that's not until 7, so maybe I go to the Met in between those. Anyway, love this album. Very excited to go see a play reading. And we found the theater. Here is the Wild Project building. Still a little early, still about 20 minutes early, but what a gorgeous day. So I think I'm gonna grab coffee and then we'll head to the reading. To make it into this really cute little theater space, it is open seating for this reading. Okay, just got out of Make Me. They did give us programs at the end, which thank goodness, because I definitely want to remember this one. Very, very bizarre play, which is very much in line with Night Drive and, you know, Grown-Ups. But this followed a motivational speaker talking about how we can change, and then it kind of just goes off the rails from there. Now, I don't really want to say too much because I don't really want to spoil any of it, but right now there were pieces of it that worked really well for me. I think it's definitely chaotic. I don't know if the current structure is doing them any favors. But at the same time, I like the framing device of having it be a motivational speaker. It definitely sticks the landing. The final beat of the show is probably my favorite part of the entire play. But it meanders so much along the way, and because it's all in this style of being a motivational speaker, you kind of get lost along the way. And so I wonder how they can develop that to really get to what they're trying to say, but in a way that doesn't lose the audience. It also was nearly 2 hours, but it felt like a Fringe show, and so it kind of just went on a little too long. But that's to be expected for something in development, right? Especially in the reading scenario. I think they can get it down to at least 90 minutes. I do not think it needs to be a 2-hour show, especially if it stays a show in the style of a motivational speaker, because you don't see a motivational speaker speak for 2 hours. But that being said, it's very fun, it's very weird, and I'm excited to see how they keep developing it, because this is just the reading, right? And so it is very, very much a work in progress right now. But I do absolutely see the potential here, and that's the really exciting part about going to an in development workshop, is you get to see kind of the seeds that are getting planted, right? And so I'm excited to see how this show grows. Good morning. It is time for a 2-show day. Just made it to the West End Theater up here on the Upper West Side to go see Are the Bennett Girls OK? Yes, we got the title of the show right. are the Bennett Girls OK. So very, very excited about this show. Two of my friends who have very different taste both really liked it, so that is always a promising sign. Here's a look at the space. It is general admission, and every time I come into the space it looks completely different. Last time I was in here it was for Music City, in which case this entire theater was made up like a dive bar, and now you get this really cool outline of a house. There is still, however, a bar right behind me, so right there. So just got out of Are the Bennett Girls OK, and I really, for the most part, really liked it. It's a complete reimagining of Pride and Prejudice, still set in the time period of Pride and Prejudice. We still follow all of the Bennett girls and their matches, but they kind of really change a lot of it. And so I'd be curious, from the perspective of somebody who's not familiar with Pride and Prejudice at all, it's still easy to follow, but you wouldn't realize that it's not Pride and Prejudice. Like, it's very, very different. So I'm curious about that choice and how that affects somebody's enjoyment. But for the most part, I really liked it until the final beat. And the final beat of the actual play, I thought was golden. But then right after that, they go into a moment that feels like it's ripping off John Proctor, but without the through line of what they do in John Proctor's The Villain. And I think if you are telling a story, if you're adapting something, or if you're directing something, you have to keep in mind that through line, because one of the things that makes Greenlight so satisfying in John Proctor's The Villain is that they set it up throughout the show, right? It's not just pulling this song out of thin air. This is a song where the groundwork, like, you can't do it with any other song. They've laid the groundwork this entire show. And even other shows that end with a musical moment where it doesn't matter what song they're doing, right? For example, Fat Ham ends in a musical moment, and that moment is so earned because of how the character of Larry has been established throughout the show. And this moment in Are the Bennett Girls OK felt completely and utterly tacked on. Like, oh, we have to have a moment at the end to go into the curtain call. And I didn't need it. If you're going to do it, establish the song earlier in the show. I think if you had opened up with that song at the party and shown all the girls actually on their own at the party at the, like, opening scene, it would have been a better payoff to end the show that way, having gone through the entire show and seeing how our understanding of them and the relationships has evolved. But yeah, if you are just trying to get a viral moment at the end of your show and not building up to it, it feels false. But other than the last literally 1 minute of the show, I really, really liked it. Unfortunately, that show was also way longer than I thought it was going to be. It was over 2.5 hours. So I do not have time to go to the Met. I would get there in like maybe 30 minutes, and it's already almost 4, and the museum closes at 5. So I think I'm going to postpone that to tomorrow. So instead, I'm walking from where I was on 86th, and we're going down to 42nd. It's such a nice day. This will be a nice walk, and then I will grab something incredibly cheap to eat on the way there. I think I'm probably going to end up at Taco Bell because they're doing the Decades Challenge, and a new week just started. So that'll probably be where we end up, which is boring, but it's affordable. And then the movie that I'm seeing starts at 7 at the Regal in Times Square. Now, last night they had a screening of it, and the moderators at the end for a talkback was Kelly O'Hara and Renee Goldsberry, who is obviously in the film. It is about her. And so tonight, there may be a talkback afterwards, but we do not know who the guests are going to be. So who knows It was listed as TBD on the invite. So stay tuned. I'll be surprised right along with you. And we are here for Satisfied. Super excited to see this.
We want to introduce now to you Renee Goldsberry.
And we have a special host, Danielle Brooks, who, as you know, was in the film, if you want that.
She got nominated for the Tony, Color Purple. You saw her at the end. There she is. My son loves her in Minecraft.
To just even witness your story. And the way I want to start is actually sharing with you all my first introduction to the wonderful Renee Goldsberry. My first time going to see a Broadway show was when I was 15, and that Broadway show happened to be The Color Purple. And I just remember the opening so strongly of these two black women in a tree. And when I tell you that changed my life, yes it did. Like, come on, right? It changed my life. And it was LaChance in that tree, and Renee Goldsberry. The 15-year-old girl in me is like freaking out right now that I get to share this space with you in this way. So when she beat me for the Tony, it made sense, you know what I mean? It was the right person to lose to, okay?
You are such an angel, I have to say. You know, I didn't, when I asked if she would do this Q&A today, I was just doing it because she's a superstar, and she lives this documentary. If anyone follows her on social media, and if you don't, you should. It is this documentary is her life. She shares it so bravely and so beautifully. I didn't even remember that you're in the movie. Something magical was happening, and it had nothing to do with me. It did. I was in it. It was Hamilton, and you saw that shot in the movie where 46th Street is like an ocean of people. Yes. And there were just all these people that couldn't get into the building. And, you know, my name was on the sheet, so I could get in. Yeah. And so I just wanted to, you know, I was in London for a really long time in the show. Yeah. So I used to sit in my dressing room and, you know, just vlog, just talk. But I thought I was talking to music theater kids. Mm-hmm. I thought one day music theater kids will want to know what it feels like to have this experience in you know, creating a Broadway show. And then I forgot to post any of the videos, as I tend to do. And then it was 2020, and the movie was coming out, and we were stuck doing quarantine, you know, press. And I realized, oh my God, this is the last time anyone's going to care about those Hamilton vlogs. I should figure out how I could get them out into the world. I didn't know that we were about to have a 10-year anniversary one day, that people would still care. There's this phrase that says, Ginger Rogers did everything Fred Astaire did, only backwards and in heels. And that's just what popped into my mind when I saw these videos of, like, we were at the White House, and then I'd come home and I'd be, you know, trying to put Benjamin in bed, or Brielle, you know, whatever. When I was doing all of that at the same time, I realized, oh, I did all the things everyone else did, but I also was raising babies. Mm-hmm. And so that's how this was born. I have seen, so this is what's beautiful about what you just said. We're in a continuum. Mm-hmm. The fact that you said that about me from being younger, I felt that watching Audra. I felt that. I mean, I just remember, I've seen so many women on Broadway literally lactating, you know, tap dancing on tables. I've seen them do it, and I didn't know them at the time, but it imprints on you. This is a story of people that have the means to have some support. There are so many people that do this with no help, as single parents. I got to shout out my husband in this movie. Yes, he stars. His name should be above the title. So what fills my cup? Absolutely, my children and my husband. Absolutely God, and so many other women who I see doing it also and make me feel less alone. And I learned early when I go into a waiting room of an audition that the best thing I can get when I walk out of that room is a friend and not a job. And this proves it right here. the fact that she showed up for me in this way today.
Always, will always.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. It is Thursday, my last day here in New York before heading home. First of all, satisfied. Great film. Really, really loved the narrative that was streamed together. I wish there was a little more footage from that time, but I think when you're making a documentary after the fact, you kind of just take what you can get, right? But I thought they did a really good job of forming a story from the footage that they did have. And Renee's story is like incredible. Now, as of this morning, grabbed a bagel from the local bagel place to where I'm staying. Did go like an hour before they closed. There weren't a lot of options left, so took a risk on a salt and pepper bagel, which never getting again. But now we are here on the Upper East Side to go to the Met. That is right. We're gonna walk on through. Also, good thing that I didn't come yesterday because they are closed on Wednesdays. So even if I had made it out of the show in time, it would not have worked. All right, we have the album on. I've created a spreadsheet organizing all of the pieces of art in the dramaturgical notes. And we have the map. So we're gonna try to find as many as we can in the next hour and 20 minutes. There are quite a few, and unfortunately some big ones in the show that are no longer on display, but I think we're gonna find a lot of them. And while I am finding those, I will also include some of my favorite pieces of work. I love these stained glasses. I absolutely love the saturation on this one. Just the bold colors. And these are in a lot of Thomas Chambers paintings. There's actually another one over here. Just look at that. Came in here for a walk on through and ended up with Into the Woods. The Wisconsin landscape is no longer on display, but we do have this gorgeous landscape of Wyoming. You know, this is going really well. The only painting in the American wing that I'm looking for is on the 3rd floor, which right now is shut off. So we've been looking for 20 minutes and have found nothing on the list, but I did find a lot of paintings I personally enjoy. But I'm feeling good about the next one, which is in the musical instruments section, which is also on the 2nd floor up here. So we're heading there next. Brief pause because I love these lion figures. Oh my gosh, from Pennsylvania. We found one. We went downstairs from the musical instruments to find the armor. The one in the center for Johann Wilhelm is the one cited in the dramaturgical notes. Love the details. I love the medieval room. This is one of my favorite rooms in the museum. Here's a father and his sons. And here's one of my favorite sculptures in here. Just the details on the snakes and the way that they're a different color. I just found the America Today panorama, which is just incredible. This is one of my favorite color paintings. I found one of the temporary exhibits. This is Lorna Simpson's source notes. Love this. Wow. You know what? I get it, Gavin. My brain feels like this too sometimes. Though for being honest, I think this is my brain. We found another one. Love this, the transparency of her dress. The details. And here's the portrait of Garshin. The pain. But yeah, I get it. And we found the horses. This honestly may be my favorite on the list. And we found the Weeders. There's the woman looking out in the distance. Just came across another temporary exhibit called Camp Casa Susanna about these two cross-dressers in the 1960s. Their photos were found in an antique shop. And the museum closes in 20 minutes, so this may be the end of our journey. These photos are absolutely incredible. So many people think that being trans is something that's blown up recently, but they've always been here. And these photos definitely prove that. Especially given that these were taken in the 1960s, when gender roles were incredibly rigid in the United States. Wow, she's gorgeous. And here's the Pharaoh in the Great Hall. Now, across the way, we used to have the statue of Athena, but she has been returned. So now the Pharaoh is just staring at nothing. All right, we have 15 minutes. My phone has decided to not connect to the map anymore, so we have a physical map, and we're gonna run to find Judith and maybe finish there, because I don't know how many more we can get in 15 minutes. Absolutely a party I want to go to. These are the married company on the terrace. There she is. Icon in the same room. Unfinished and here at the Metropolitan Museum. I think I'm gonna call it there. Timed this perfectly because the finale is playing in my ears right now. All right, just picked up my ticket for tonight for waiting for Godot. I hate that, but whatever. And currently heading, there's a Two Brothers down the street, so I'm gonna grab a slice real fast. Maybe do a TikTok live since it is technically a Thursday, and then head to go see the show. So glad I was able to go to the museum, even for just a little bit. And we mostly did all the paintings. There's actually a couple that I wish I got photos of, but I just have video. But that's a problem for, I don't know, really nobody, really. I am a little worried about the show today because it's a style of show that is really kind of either hit or miss for me. And I don't think I've seen a production of Waiting for Godot. Maybe. I confuse it with Endgame a lot, which I definitely have seen. And I honestly could not tell you the difference. So we'll see. We'll see in the first act if I have seen it or not. I've seen Waiting for Guffman, which, you know, basically is the same thing, right? And we are seated in the dress circle for the Hudson. The view, really no matter where you sit in the Hudson, is great, but I really love the dress circle. I also am digging this pre-show music. Here is a look at the merch. First of all, I've definitely read that play before. definitely knew what was happening. But absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. What a fantastic production. I love Jamie Lloyd's brain and the way that it works and the way that he sees the classic works. And the way that he uses specific celebrity to tell stories, which I think is a really interesting directorial approach. It's also very lucrative. Yeah, I really was surprised by that and enjoyed that tremendously. But I will also say it is 1,000% not for everyone, and people are going to hate it. If you're not a fan of Samuel Beckett, this is not going to win you over. I think I think in the very same way that, you know, I absolutely detest Ibsen, and Jamie Lloyd's directorial vision, while I appreciated it in A Doll's House, didn't win that play over for me. I think if you don't like Waiting for Godot, you're not gonna like this. But I still really, really enjoyed it. And I kind of like that style of play. I like plays like Passover and Bell Ringers, and this. So there you go. Had to get the t-shirt. Now heading back to Brooklyn, where I have to pack because it is time to go home tomorrow. Fortunately, however, I don't fly out until like 3 p.m. so I do not have to go to the airport tonight. Thank goodness. We are all packed up and ready to head to the airport. That is all, folks. Fortunately saying goodbye to this little guy. Bye, Oaks. And heading to the airport. My flight leaves in about 3 hours, so I'm gonna head over there now. But I'm calling it here, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. If this is your first time seeing me, my name is Kate, and I love talking about theater because theater is life. Please like and subscribe to follow me on more adventures. Currently planning an insane road trip for October, where I don't even know the cities that I'm going to yet. Still trying to figure that out, but that should be a fun ride. Going to be driving essentially from Colorado to New York, but in a very zigzag path. And so we'll see where I end up. So be sure to follow along so you can catch that as it happens this month. Thank you so much for watching.